Hello and welcome to Producing with Jimmy. I'm Jimmy and this is the channel where we talk about all things creative because creativity is a way of life. Today is the first ever totally dawsome edition of the show. Totally dawsome is the part of the channel where we talk about creative use of plugins. Okay, we're not talking about boring compression and EQ and how to make your vocals sit in a mix and all of that baloney. We're talking about the fun stuff, okay? We're talking about the stuff that can only be done inside of a DAW. I am fascinated by processing you can do inside of your DAW that has an inherently fun musical result. So it almost feels like you are playing the computer and making whatever instrument you are processing kind of hyper real. So the subject of today's creative processing centers around the fact that as producers, inevitably, and this will happen to you if it hasn't already, if you are a producer, inevitably you are at some point going to be surrounded by instruments that you have no idea how to play. I buy a harmonica every couple months, I'm at the guitar shop and I look at the harmonicas and I think, you know what would be really cool is if I learned how to play harmonica. And I never do. They just sit around. I've got, a train whistle. This whole place is filled with things that I can't really play all that well. The process I'm about to share with you is something that allows me to use these things that I can't play in a way that is really musical and really fun. So today we are going to look at this Native American flute, and we're gonna insert it onto a track that I've made here. Let's give it a play. It's a cool track. It's just a piano, a drum loop, and a whoa. Let's not have that. It's just a piano, a drum loop, and yeah, it's cool. I like it. If you don't like it, whatever, fine. So we're going to take this Native American flute and we're going to try to get some of its juice, some of it's got a really cool quality, and we want to use that in our track even though we can't really play it. And even though in fact it's in the wrong fucking key. The fun, the magic happens after I record this, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So stay with me. I swear to God this is cool. Okay, I think you get the point. Clearly that sounds really bad. It's not even in the right key. This is where our process comes into play. Today we are looking at Little Altar Boy. This plugin is very popular, and it's popular for a reason. It's really, really fun. Alright? You got a pitch, you got a formant, you got a drive. I don't even know what formant means, I just know that it's fun. Okay, when I move it around, I have a lot of fun. So we've got our out-of-tune Native American flute playing up against this really groovy track here. And what we're going to do is we're going to send this into an auto-tune real-time advance. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to make this auto-tune almost like a safety net for the sound, okay? So we're putting it in the key of C minor, which is the key of the track, and we're putting the retune speed all the way up, which means that it's going to grab notes that are wrong and put them into the key of C minor, which is really pretty cool. In addition to that, I'm going to go up to my Little Altar Boy into my automation parameters. And for those of you unfamiliar, this little box here in Pro Tools, it looks like this. It looks similar in all the other ones. You press that, and you press, I'm going to be moving the pitch around, which it looks like I've already added it, but it would look like this if I hadn't. So I take pitch, add it in there, and I press OK. Now what that means is that if I put flute into touch mode and I play, any movement of this pitch wheel is going to be recorded into the piece so that when it plays back, that same pitch movement is going to happen. In this way, It's almost like a secondary performance. You can think of it that way. That's how I always think about it. You know, this out-of-tune flute, which is now being processed through the auto-tune, is going first through this little altar boy. Now listen to the result of this. This is really fun. Now that's pretty cool. You can probably already start to, in your own mind, conceive of uses for this, okay? This is one that I really like. Now I'm going to go further with this sound, and I'm going to bust it into some reverb. So what I did there is I just performed it again. If there's things you don't like about it, you can just go back. And I'm telling you, there is a collaboration that happens there where you're kind of learning in a very intuitive way the ways in which you want the part to sound. And the beauty is that the more times you pass through it, the more you can kind of correct the parts that don't necessarily fit with your ear. I've got that now going through some nice reverb. And I'm going to go even further. I'm going to put another creative plug-in on there. And this one is Verve Analog Machines by Universal Audio. It's really cool. It's another kind of plug-in where it just kind of alters the sound in a way that's just fun and pleasing. And it has a musicality in it. So it's not this cold, intellectual, let me dial it in. It's like kind of like you just throw it on there and you're having fun. Check it out. Now, are there things that I would change if I was producing this track for real right now? Absolutely. But I think you can see the beauty of this. The thing that I like the best about it, and the best about this particular technique, is that you're taking an organic sound and you're passing it through a process that goes through auto-tune, which we think of as this very robotic thing, but we're really only using it as this kind of melodic safety net, so that we can organically affect the way that the pitch is moving behind that safety net and still know that it's going to have a pleasing musical result. And it has a very organic, sorrowful result when you put on this Verve Analog Machines and you put the vintage eyes on, which is basically like this warble thing. It's giving it this LFO where it's kind of detuning, and it's making it very chewy and analog sounding, even though like it's a very digital process. We can listen one more time here. So I want you to look at this and think about the ways that you could apply this. You could use it on a harmonic. You could use it on anything, okay? You could do something like this on pretty much anything. And one of the most beautiful things about that is that everyone's going to have a completely different result. Another cool, this will be the last thing that we do, and then I'm going to let you go. Thank you for hanging out. This technique can also be used in tandem with a really thick reverb and give you kind of a pad. One of the things that's annoying about pads, to me, is that it's very tempting to just go a 1 and a 5 and you just let that hang out forever and it never changes. When you put reverb on something that has more organic movement and those notes start to blend together, you almost get this more complex harmonic picture that is making the whole thing sound more sophisticated than it would be if you were just like, bah. So check this out. I've got ROM. It's a very stylized reverb. And I'm going to turn the mix all the way up and the decay all the way up. I don't know what this is going to do, but I do know from experience that it's going to have a very rich pad-like texture, and the melodic movement that's happening within that flute that's been affected by the process we just went through is going to make it more sophisticated. See, that actually makes me really excited when I hear that back. And you know what I would do, because I'm looking at this as a performance. I don't want to be able to tweak this later. Okay, so what I would do is I would say commit. And I go like that. And I'd probably turn it down a little bit. It looks huge. I mean, yeah, that's cool. That is totally dawsome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out and taking your time to watch this video. I would love it if you subscribed to this channel if you like it, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss new videos. I challenge you to take this technique and do something creative with it. In my experience, this kind of processing leads you to results that are singular. You know, there's not going to be another producer that has that exact sound, because the nature of it is very organic and random. It has more life in it, I find, than a lot of sound libraries and different VSTs, which is why I love it. And I love you. And I hope to see you next time in the next video. We will see you.